The minute your eyes open, you're like, we're in it. You don't get a break from
You're on.
You're on.
Good
You're
morning.
You're on 24/7. Hi, my name is Deleesa.
Hi, my name is Courtney.
Hi, I'm Lee, and we're from season 2 of The Circle, and we're hanging with In Touch. I did have a game plan when I entered The Circle. First of all, I decided to be a catfish, so that was the first part of my plan. And then the second part of my plan was I wanted to kind of stay in the middle of the pack because I knew whoever went to the top was likely going to have a target. And I didn't want to be on the bottom because I didn't want to be easy picking. So I wanted to stay in the middle. And then I wanted to tie myself to a very powerful player, if not two. And that ended up being Courtney and Khloe with the Kardashians for me. So that was my plan, and I actually executed on that plan.
For me, my game plan and strategy going into it was to sort of try to talk to as many people as I could and get all of the tea, get all of the information from the players. And then when I felt like it was an appropriate time, use that information against them. But then I feel like once I got into the circle, my strategy then sort of twisted and evolved a little bit. And I realized that it became more important to just build bonds and make people feel comfortable with me and not like a threat.
My game plan definitely was to come in just being nice and friendly with everybody, not being looked at as a threat, but also not being considered a weak player and people just don't know anything about you. I also plan to really get people talking about themselves because that's the number one thing people like to do. I learned that in sales, girl, so let me tell you, right? So people love talking about themselves. And, when you start talking about yourself and giving up a little bit about yourself, you feel connected to a person. But that also had to change because it's a popularity contest. So even if people are talking about themselves and they don't know anything about you, they're not going to feel as connected with you as they will other people. So that kind of like went out the window and it was more about survival. Yeah. It was almost a no-brainer. I originally wanted to go in as myself. I have a fun personality. I'm very social. I can go anywhere and be cool with anybody and just make friends on like a random trip. But when I compare how women treat other women versus like how women treat men, especially, it just made more sense for me to try to be a guy because then I would have been dragged in all that drama. I don't want to be in any drama. I just want to be there and I just want to be liked. So for me, it just made sense. Like I have to go in as a catfish. I have to be a guy. I can still be myself, but be a guy.
I decided, to come in as a 24-year-old gay kid. The reason I was doing that, I was thinking, well, they're going to be biased against me, because I'm older. They're going to look at my picture and say, well, he's probably straight, he's conservative or whatever, and have all these biases. Well, I ended up finding out is I was the one who was having the biases about them. So I've thought about if I ever went back in, I probably would go back in as myself, and just see how that goes. It might not work, but I would probably try that. The other thing that I decided to change, if I had it to do over again, actually came from somebody from Instagram. They said, you didn't want to flirt. Why didn't you start River off as he was in a relationship? And I was like, duh, why wasn't he in a relationship? I don't know. So I've learned a lot. I would beat Deleesa if I went back in, I think.
Nice try.
I would sure try.
For me, I didn't really think too much about it. I know that like the way that I speak, the way that I come across is very specific to me. And I felt like if I would have chosen the wrong catfish character or anything that's like a small detail to me, I feel like it could have led to me being blocked. So when it came to being a catfish or not, I was like, I need to be Courtney. The only thing I switched up was my job. Because if they have any inkling that I could be snooping all around, then they would be giving me the boot.
I'm gonna go with my girlfriend, Khloe. I think she was the most trustworthy for me, just because I got to get to know her, and I always felt that I was safe with her. I always felt that I was pretty safe with Chloe. And I knew she had my back, even though there was a potential that I was a catfish, and, you know, she didn't really know, you know, if I was really me or not. And I would say the least trustworthy, who's gonna hate me here? Lee or Courtney? Which one? Because it was both of you.
I'm not there.
No, you know what? I'm no offense, Lee, but I'm gonna go with you. I didn't trust you at all. Like,
wow.
I don't know. I actually, you know, at some point I stopped trusting Courtney, but from the beginning, it was just something about the way you came across in your chats with me that was it was sneaky, and it was like, it just wasn't authentic to me. So
wow.
I didn't trust you at all. I just felt like I felt like you was really playing the game. Like, you was really, really strategic with what you were saying to certain people and people who you were aligned with. So I was really watching out for you, honey.
Well, I will take that as a compliment. You know,
You
for
should.
me, I'll take it. You know, I didn't feel I was that sneaky, but maybe I was trying to be tactical. I will say that I was trying to be tactical.
Yeah.
For me, the person that I trusted the most was Courtney. And the person that was the most distrustful was Courtney. It's the same person. I'll be honest.
It's so funny.
You know? It's the same guy, you know? I mean, I felt like I could trust him completely, but I knew he, you know, just, you know, like that talk he had with Deleesa when he's doing his yoga, you know, I was like, he just, oh yeah, honey, and gets off and so that's my answer.
Y'all are funny. I'm gonna say, for me, the most trustworthy person at the beginning of the game for me was Savannah. Just because I felt like she was a kind of person that I knew in my town. I was like, oh, I know a girl like this. And then she wound up actually being my neighbor. And the most distrustful person I would probably say at the beginning, and this was at the beginning, was Chloe. And the reason why was because I didn't recognize her from Too Hot to Handle. I couldn't understand why she would say her occupation was an influencer. And so I thought she was a catfish.
Makes sense.
Crazy Courtney.
I didn't know who Chloe was.
I didn't know who Chloe was either.
Oh, I knew who Chloe was. I was very surprised, actually, because I was just like, what is she doing in the, I was trying to figure out like why she was in the US version, because they have a UK version, honestly. But I mean, it's really funny because originally when you first see her, and same as Courtney, like you see influencer, and I knew who she was, and I'm like, what are you doing here, girl? Like, can regular people get a chance, girl? Like, please. But when you get to know her, she's really down to earth, and it's like she really was meant to be there for a reason. And I'm really happy, obviously, that my girlfriend was there. But aside from all of that, just her personality and getting to know her and who she is, I can understand why that crossover happened.
You know, the funny thing is I had watched Too Hot to Handle, but my brain is like a strainer. You pour water in it just goes through. I didn't remember, you know, that's how 58-year-old brain. So. Well, if I'd won $100,000, I wouldn't have felt really bad, but I didn't. So I felt bad.
Lee, you gotta get over it at some point. Get over it.
Okay.
So, oh my God. I felt bad at times. I'm not gonna lie. There were certain times that I felt bad because, you know, as a woman, you know, I feel like Chloe really liked Trevor. And I was messing up because when Mitchell came in, I was just like, oh, they would be so perfect together, you know? But it's a game and I had to do what I had to do. And at some point the game is going to end. And at that point, then I could hook them up, you know, cause I know she wanted love. And like, I thought they were so cute together. They would have been amazing together. And they are so beautiful together. But I just kept in my mind, like, she's such a cool person. She's going to understand it's a game. She's going to forgive me. And we're going to get along because a lot of our chats were very genuine. They were from my heart, you know? No, honestly, they were, my chats were everybody. Actually, it was me. That was just a guy. That's it. So I didn't feel that bad. Like sometimes I did, but not that bad where I was like beating myself up.
In all honesty, I did feel, I kind of like you, Deleesa. I felt bad. But then when I realized I was kind of channeling my own 24-year-old self, but some of the stories and stuff, I did feel bad, but I did say it's a game. I do already feel authentically connected to these people. And we're all playing hard. I mean, one thing about our season, nobody played soft. Everybody was playing very hard. And so I knew at the end, when we got on the other side, sitting on the couch with Michelle, that incredible host, I knew that we'd all come together. And that's exactly what happened. So I feel good about that. How poorly I was going to play, to be honest. I thought I was going to be masterful at this game, and I was going to be all in my head, and I was going to crush everybody. And my heart took over, and it's like I was not, you know, my head would work every once in a while, you know, I'd do something, but most of the time I was playing with heart. And Deleesa proved you can't win without playing with your head. I mean, she was great. So that's what I learned.
Well, that's funny that you say that, because I mean, I would have to say it was very difficult, very extremely difficult. You're constantly doubting yourself. You're constantly thinking about gameplay and thinking about strategy and wondering if you should trust this person, and then wondering if the person you trust, can you continue trusting them? Because, you know, people come in and out, new alliances are formed, and I actually thought the game was going to be much easier. And when I say easier, I don't mean easier as far as like making it a certain, you know, way down the line, like to the finale or anything. I mean easier in the sense of just communicating with other people and being yourself, because you don't have a lot of time to talk to everybody, and you can't say everything that you want to say. You know, you have to be able to just get your point across and get it in a way that they interpret it the way that you want them to. It's a mind game. It's really a mind game. And it can really drive you crazy. So I think for me, that was like the hardest thing. It was so difficult, like trying to figure out how do I play this properly.
I think what surprised me the most was probably just how much it wasn't like what I thought it was. To give a cousin of an answer to Deleesa, I also didn't realize how difficult it was going to be mentally. You know, I feel like I'm a rather confident person, but while you're in there, you catch yourself being like, oh, did I make the right decision? Or like, I don't know if I should have did that. Or like you find yourself just like going over stuff over and over and over and over and over in your head until you have to find a place where you're just okay with what you do, because at the end of the day, it's just a show, but it's a show with so much at risk. Like, you know, I don't know. I think I just underestimated what the actual, once you open that door and go into the apartment, what actually was going to go on there.
Exactly. That's exactly how I feel.
The minute your eyes open, you're like, we're in it. You don't get a break.
You're on.
Mm-hmm.
You're on.
Good morning.
You're on 24/7. Season 2 of The Circle is streaming now on Netflix.